Hello all. Today we're going to discuss posterior urethral valve and chronic kidney disease. So this is important to me because my son was born with posterior urethral valves. Um, so that's just had an effect on me since he was born. So kind of got to see firsthand the effects that it has. So I kind of just wanted to go over that and explain some of the physiology behind it. So the posterior urethral valves actually resulted in hydronephrosis in his case, and that actually developed even further to where he now only has one functioning kidney. So let's just kind of go through this a little bit and kind of get an overview of some things. So what is posterior urethral valves? Posterior urethral valves are obstructed membranes that develop in the urethra, which causes urine not to be excreted through the urethra. So that causes a backflow of urine into the bladder and the kidneys. And that is what can result in hydronephrosis. Now, hydronephrosis is swelling of the kidneys due to that backup of urine that we just talked about. And so the hydronephrosis can also often lead to chronic kidney disease because it increases the hydrostatic pressure, which will cause a decrease in the GFR, the glomerular filtration rate. So decrease in the filtration. So that causes chronic kidney disease, which chronic kidney disease is often defined as diminished renal reserve. That means that the kidneys cannot sufficiently maintain fluid and electrolyte homeostasis. Chronic kidney disease also results in the loss of the ability to efficiently excrete urine and other waste products from the kidneys. And it just affects overall functioning of the kidney. So that can affect not just the renal system, but because of the effect on the renal system, it can cause effects on other systems such as cardiovascular system and the blood, as well as we can see from this slide that it causes waste buildup in the blood, and it can also cause complications such as anemia, high blood pressure, and protein in the urine. So it can cause anemia because the lack of kidney function can lead to the lack of production of the erythropoietin, which is what creates the red blood cells or produces the red blood cells. So the lack of red blood cell production causes anemia because there's not enough red blood cells in the body. And then high blood pressure is caused through the lack of functioning of the RAS system. The RAS system helps regulate blood pressure through angiotensin II. So when that gets diminished, the blood pressure cannot be regulated as well because the RAS system works to decrease blood pressure. So the blood pressure will typically be higher in patients with chronic kidney disease because that RAS system isn't functioning the way it should. So that was just a little bit of an example of how the chronic kidney disease can affect the cardiovascular system. So we can see how the renal and cardiovascular system kind of work together, and also we see the effects of the blood because it causes the anemia because of the lack of the production of RBCs. So just wanted to give a little bit of an overview of living with chronic kidney disease, just from what I've seen just with my son having it. So he sees both the urologist and nephrologist regularly because of the posterior urethral valves, make sure the ureter's still working properly, and then the kidneys because it's caused that hydronephrosis and the actual complete loss of functioning in one kidneys. His height and weight also gets monitored and compared because chronic kidney disease can cause stunted growth because of the resistance of growth hormone and IGH1. And then we just talked about blood pressure, so that also gets monitored closely. So that's just a little bit of living with chronic kidney disease. It'll be monitored for a while, but that would be why. And then here are my references. Thank you.